Cut.
Come on to these yellow sands, and then take hands. Curtsied when you have, and kiss the wild waves' whist. Footed featly here and there, and sweet sprites the bird and bear. Hark, hark, bow wow, the watchdogs bark. Bow wow, hark, I hear the strutting chanticleer cry cock-a-diddle-dow.
Oh, Jupiter, how weary are my spirits.
I care not for my spirits if my legs were not weary.
I could find it in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and cry like a woman. But I must comfort the weaker vessel, as doublet and hose ought to show itself courageous to petticoat. Oh, I pray you bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For my part, I'd rather bear with you than bear you. Yet I should bear no cross if I did bear you, for I think you have no money in your purse.
Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Aye, now am I in Arden. The more fool I. When I was in home, I was in a better place, but travelers must be content.
I be so good touchstone.
Lord, we know what we are, but know not what we may be.
If by your art, my dearest father, you have put the wild waters in this roar, allay them. The sky, it seems, would pour down stinking pitch, but that the sea mounting to the welking's cheek dashes the fire out. Oh, I have suffered with those that I saw suffer. A brave vessel who had no doubt some noble creature in her dashed all to pieces. Oh, the cry did knock against my very heart. Poor souls, they perished. Had I been any god of power, I would have sunk the sea within the earth, or ere it should the good ships who have swallowed in the frauding souls within her.
No harm. I have done nothing but in care of thee, my dear one, of thee, my daughter, who art ignorant of what thou art.
These are the forgeries of jealousy, and never since the middle summer spring met we on hill, in dale, forest, or mead, by paved fountain or by rushy brook, or in the beached margin of the sea, to dance our ringlets to the whistling wind. But with thy brawls thou hast disturbed our sport. Therefore the winds, piping to us in vain as in revenge, have sucked up from the sea contagious fogs, which falling in the land have every pelting river made so proud that they have overborne their continents.
Thou rememberest, since once I sat upon a promontory, and heard a mermaid on a dolphin's back, uttering such dulcet and harmonious breath, that the rude sea grew civil at her song. And certain stars shot madly from their spheres to hear the sea maid's music.
I remember.
That very time I saw, but thou couldst not, flying between the cold moon and the earth, Cupid, all armed. A certain aim he took, at a fair vessel throned by the west, and loosed his love shaft smartly from his bow, as it should pierce 100,000 hearts. But I might see young Cupid's fiery shaft, quenched in the chaste beams of the watery moon, and the imperial voters passed on, in maiden meditation, fancy free. Yet marked I where the bolt of Cupid fell. It fell upon a little western flower, before milk white, now purple with love's wound, and maidens call it love in idleness.
All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. Then the lover, sighing like a furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. Then the soldier, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation, even in the cannon's mouth. Then the justice, in fair round belly, with good cape and lined, the eyes severe and beard of formal cut, full of wise saws and modern instances. And so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into lean and slippered pantaloons, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big manly voice turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange, eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Blow, winds, and crack your cheeks. Rage! Blow! You cataracts and hurricanos, spout till you have drenched our steeples, drowned the cocks. You sulphurous and thought-executing fires, vaunt couriers to oak-cleaving thunderbolts, singe my white head. And thou all-shaking thunder, smite flat the thick rotundity o' the world. Crack nature's molds and Germans spill at once that make ingrateful man.
Oh, nuncle, court holy water in a dry house is better than this rain water out of door. Good nuncle, in and ask thy daughter's blessing. Here's a knight pities neither wise man nor fool.
Rumble thy belly full, spit fire, spout rain. Nor rain, wind, thunder, fire are my daughters. I tax not you elements. With unkindness I never gave you kingdom, called you children. You owe me no subscription. Then let fall your horrible pleasure. Here I stand, your slave, a poor, infirm, weak, and despised old man.
The fold stands empty in the drowned field, and crows are fatted with the murrian flock. The 9 men's morris is filled up with mud, and the quaint mazes in the wanton green for lack of tread are undistinguishable. The human mortals want their winter here. No knight is now with carol or hymn blessed.
He that has and a tiny little wit, with hey ho, the wind and the rain, must make content with his fortune fit, for the rain it raineth every day.
Approach my area. Come.
All hail, great master, grave sir, hail. I come to answer thy best pleasure, be it to fly, or to swim, to dive into the fire, to ride on the curled clouds. To thy strong bidding task, Ariel in all his quality.
Hast thou spirit performed to point the tempest that I bade thee?
To every article. I boarded the king's ship, now on the beak, now at the waist, the deck, and in every cabin, I flamed amazement.
Is she to be buried in a Christian burial that willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is, and therefore make her grave straight. The crowner hath sat on her, and finds it Christian burial.
How can that be, unless she drowned herself in her own defense?
Why, 'tis found so.
It must be se offendendo. It cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act, and an act has 3 branches. It is to act, to do, to perform. Our gal, she drowned herself wittingly.
Nay, but hear you. Goodman Delver.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man go to this water and drown himself, it is will he, nil he goes. Mark you that. But if the water comes to him and drown him, he drowns not himself. Our gal, he that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
But is this law?
I marry, yes. Crowner's quest law.
Will you have the truth on it? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out of Christian burial.
Why, there thou sayest, and the more pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves, more than they're even Christian. Go, get thee to Johann. Fetch me a stoup of liquor. In youth, when I did love, methought it was very sweet to contract the time for my behove. Oh, methought there was nothing meet, but age with his stealing steps hath clawed me in his clutch, and hath shipped me until the land as if I had never been such.
Sweets to the sweet, farewell. I hoped thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's bride. I thought thy bride bed to have decked, sweet maid, and not have strewed thy grave.
Full of fathom 5, thy father lies. Of his bones are coral made, those are pearls that were his eyes. Nothing of him that doth fade, but doth suffer a sea change into something rich and strange. Sea nymphs hourly ring his knell. Hark! Now I hear them. Hark! Now I hear them. Ding! Dong! Bell! What would my potent master? Here I am.
Thou and thy meaner fellows your last service did worthily perform, and I must use you in such another trick. Go bring the rabble, or ere whom I give thee power, here to this place.
Presently,
I with a twink.
before you can say come and go, and breathe twice and cry so, each one tripping on his toe, we'll be here with mop and mow. Do you love me, master? No?
Dearly, my delicate Ariel, do not approach till thou dost hear me call.
Well, I conceive.
Our revels now are ended. These our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, ye all which it inherits shall dissolve, and like the insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. and our little lives are rounded with a sleep. Sir, I am vexed. Bear with my weakness. Be not disturbed by my infirmities. A turn or two I'll walk to still my beating mind.
Your charm so strongly works them, that if you now beheld them, your affections would become tender.
Dost thou think so, spirit?
Mine would, sir, were I human.
And mine shall. Hast thou which art but air a touch, a feeling of their afflictions, and shall not myself, one of their kind that relish all as sharply passion as they, be kindlier moved than thou art? Though with their high wrongs I am struck to the quick. Yet with nobler reason against my fury do I take part. The rare action is in virtue than in vengeance. They being penitent, the sole drift of my purpose doth extend not a frown farther. Go release them, Ariel. My charms I'll break, their senses I'll restore, and they shall be themselves. Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune and do fly him when he comes back, you demi-puppets, whose by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, whereof the ewe not bites, and you whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and azured fault set roaring war. To the dread rattling thunder have I given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong base promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked, the pine and cedar graves at my command have waked their sleepers, oped, and let them forth by my so potent art. But this rough magic I must here abjure, and when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine, end upon their senses that this airy charm is for, I'll break my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown my book.
There's fennel for you. And columbines. There's rue for you. And here's some for me. There's a daisy. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my father died. They say he made a good end.